From Duke, number 33, a 6-foot, 7-inch freshman from South Coast, North Carolina, Kenny Denard. From Kentucky, number 53, a 6-foot, 10-inch senior from New Orleans, Louisiana, Rick Roby. The centers, from Duke, number 43, a 6-foot, 11-inch sophomore from Monroe, Connecticut, Mike Jaminski. From Kentucky, number 55, a 6-foot, 10-inch senior from Manchester, Ohio, Mike Phillips. And the guard, from Duke, number 22, a 6-foot sophomore from Durham, North Carolina, John Harrell. From Kentucky, number 4, a 6-foot, 3-inch sophomore from Peru, Indiana, Kyle Macy. From Duke, number 34, a 6-foot, 5-inch junior from Jersey City, New Jersey, Jim Spanarkel. And from Kentucky, number 22, a 6-foot, 1-inch junior from Toledo, Ohio, Truman Slater. And the coaches, from Duke, Bill Foster. From Kentucky, Joe B. Hall.
The faces of the players told the story. Young Duke smiling. They've already had a winning year. It's a very serious, senior-oriented Kentucky team. Who will be the national champion? We'll unravel that story for you with the opening tip-off in just a moment. Kentucky wins the tap, and it's Kyle Macy, their quarterback, number 4, inside immediately and knocked away as Roby tried to take it inside, out of bounds to the Blue Devils of Duke. Duke, in beating Notre Dame, ran off to a big halftime lead, 14 points, built it to 16 early in the second half, and held on for a 4-point win. Kentucky in this tournament, turnover. Harrell made the pass. Denard was not there. And understandably, the first 2 possessions, one aside, wind up in turnovers, Billy.
Kentucky in a tight man-to-man defense. Phillips on Jaminski will be interesting. Duke going 1-3-1 zone right off the bat.
Macy with Phillips moving in and out of the post, high and low. Roby playing the side. Macy and Clater both outstanding shooters from outside. This is Clater from Toledo, Ohio.
Kentucky has about as many patterns against the zone as anybody in the country, and they work them all very well with good patience.
Truman Clater. Rebound Denard, one of the freshman forwards of Duke. Spanarkel, their playmaker, captain to Jaminski. Blocked beautifully, but a foul on Phillips of Kentucky.
This is something Mike Phillips is really going to have to be aware of, is the fact that Jaminski goes the length of the floor from offense to defense and vice versa as well as anyone in the country. Good catch. He's going up for the stuff. Phillips times it well, but he did hit him.
Boy, Phillips almost banged his head on the underside of the backboard. He was flying through. Jaminski, all-A student, finished high school in 3 years. He has a couple of B's at Duke University, but at 18, already a sophomore. They say he may become the best center ever in the ACC. And Duke takes the early 2-0 lead.
Al, how important is it to get 2 up on the board?
Well, it's very important for the younger team. I was just thinking of Jaminski's high school coach. He must have been very upset when he left after his junior year.
One-on-one, Roby on Jaminski, and he scores! Rick Roby, the All-American big guy for Kentucky, and Jaminski, who rarely fouls, could not block the shot.
And so Duke going a full-court zone press against that. Jaminski, a good shot blocker.
Spanarkel, not there. Jaminski rebounds, but he fouls in the process. First foul for Duke goes to Jaminski. Bill Foster, he was named co-coach of the year by the Coaches Association. He and Abe Levin, distinct honor when your own colleagues pick you as coach of the year. And on the other bench, Joe Hall, some say he should deserve it.
A lot of good candidates for that. You can see Duke is not going to press unless they get a situation where they've just made a foul shot.
Later with Denard.
High-low post right now with Phillips and Roby down in low. That's a tough twosome in there.
10 years ago, Al McGuire, you never used a pick against the zone, but today that has even been added to the Kentucky offense.
Yeah, they pick the front line in the zone. They'll pick and go for the 15, 16-foot jumper from the angle from the basket off the foul line.
And Dick, they're matching up right now. That's what's confusing Kentucky a little bit. Although it's a zone, They're taking men in the area, just as you see Spinarco going back on Clater. Good
Nice
pass.
pass. Gibbons can't hit. And the foul will be on Phillips of Kentucky, and that's his second. He is the most foul-prone of the Wildcats. He fouled out 5 times this year. Billy, another look.
There's an excellent pass to set this up by Clater. Good penetration right here. Sometimes you take one dribble too many, and that was the case there for Goose Gibbons. He went on in, missed the shot, and there's the foul coming over the top.
A 2-2 tie. We've played over 2 minutes. Carroll blocked by Macy.
A lot of big overplays right now. You're going to see some back doors coming.
Phillips makes the steal. Banks to beat. And he can't hit, and the foul is on Gene Banks of Duke.
Phillips is down. I think he hurt himself on the fall. Banks was getting himself in position to draw the charge as opposed to trying to make the block. But Phillips took it all the way in. Now, Phillips really not the kind of guy you want in the open field, but he saw this. Now, there's Banks trying to get position. What Phillips did is a very good maneuver. There's where he hit his hip falling down. Very good maneuver as he went ahead and went sideways to the basket.
You know what happened? Banks kind of thought of his 240, 50 pounds. He kind of moved at the last second. That's why they called it a block instead of a charge.
Now, Mike Phillips from Manchester, Ohio. He broke all of Jerry Lucas's Ohio prep records. And Kentucky leads 4-2. The obvious question, Al McGuire, do both teams seem tight to you?
Yeah, so this is the way a championship game usually starts. In about another minute or so, they should relax.
Great give and go, but Denard misses the layup. So Spinarco and Denard have missed layups the last 2 times down. Gibbons can't score, but he was fouled. Spinarco, number 34 of Duke, gets the foul, and that will send Goose Gibbons to the line. Gibbons needs only 3 points to become only the second player in Kentucky history to score 2,000 points. And there he is. He's sitting on 1,997. What a great 4-year star he's been.
Dick down on the other end of the court with the tough pressure that Kentucky's putting on man-to-man. Duke is going to have to go ahead without the ball, backdoor a lot, try to hit the man at the high post and cut off, as was the case for Denard before. Teams that overplay this way just force you to take away your normal offense.
Gibbons makes it 5-2. Gibbons, raised in Lexington, went to Bryan Station High School. You see the I in the state of Indiana outlined middle of the court. This is the Indiana University home court. It was transported from Bloomington here to St. Louis for this tournament. A rare miss by Gibbons, and Jaminski rebounded for Duke. Blue Devils have only 1 field goal in nearly 3 minutes. Inside, Jaminski, foul Roby, or is it Phillips? Phillips has his third.
Excellent positioning by Mike Jaminski. Although he's just a sophomore, he sure has great court sense and savvy. Gets position, doesn't hold or push off. Good call by the official. Jaminski is an amazing young player.
And thus far, Joe Hall has not made a move to substitute for Phillips with 3.
Dick, I believe that Kentucky plays better with 1 center, either Phillips or Gibbons.
We're going to see
Inside,
quickly.
Jaminski, 5-4.
We're going to see James Lee in there quickly. He's over on the sidelines already, and Joe Hall talking to him. That makes him a lot quicker, and you don't give up much on the boards when you put Lee in the game.
Gibbons open as Clater, and he rattles it home. Truman Clater has his first bucket, and it's 7-4. Kentucky leads, approaching the 16:30 mark of the first half. Banks, the powerful freshman from Philadelphia. It won't drop for Banks, and Phillips gets the rebound for Kentucky. The Wildcats on the move, leading by 3.
Kentucky with Kyle Macy, they're just beautiful to watch against the zone with their attack. They're very patient. They get into their various sets. There you see Macy going to the corner. Got the jump shot.
Phillips open, misses an easy one. Rebound Banks. Spinarco has no advantage, so he'll slow it up. Pass deflected by Clater, and the score 7-4 as James Lee, number 32, comes in. That's Bill Foster, head coach of Duke. He's 47 years of age, his 4th year, a banner season beyond his expectations. For Joe Hall, it's been a tough year for a man who has coached a team to 29-2. He said it yesterday, pressure consistently on me to win, and I have to win this one.
Dick, I think this game breaks down to Duke wants to win, Kentucky got to win.
well put, Al. 7-6 as Spanarkel hits his first hoop. We have 15 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first half. Arkansas beat Notre Dame for the third place honors on a last-second shot by Brewer. Macy drills from the corner. 9-6, Macy's first basket.
Nothing will beat a zone attack any better than hitting deep jumpers from the corner, and Macy and Clater both did it.
Nearly a 5-second count, batted away by Gibbons of Kentucky. Gibbons is the complete player. Johnny Wooden, the ex-UCLA coach, paid him the high compliment. He's not only a great scorer, second best in Kentucky history, but an outstanding defensive player. Many fans overlook that talent. Away from the ball, the foul is on whom? Truman Clater of Kentucky holding Spanarkel. Spanarkel has been playing in the tournament with a bad ankle.
That was a set play by Duke, trying to break Truminski long and then set a screen for Spanarkel going for the lob.
And Spanarkel may have injured himself. He'll be attended to as we have a timeout here at the Checkerdome in St. Louis for the NCAA Championship after 4.5 minutes. Kentucky 9, Duke 6. We return to our studios for this message. Spanarkel appeared to suffer a cut on his elbow in that last fall, but obviously nothing serious. We see no tape or bandage. It's 9-6 Kentucky. Duke's ball, 15 minutes plus remaining first half.
With James Lee in the ball game, they match up to Duke's personnel. There's the same play. Well conceived, but Roby was right in the spot.
Roby did the good job, and there's Denard stealing it for Duke. What a play by Denard. Banks, Spanarkel. Spanarkel to Banks. And now Jaminski. Rebound, Banks. He can't hit. Both teams missing some fairly easy shots. Roby ripping down the rebound for Kentucky. Good pass. Out of bounds to Kentucky.
What's happening, Dick, to Kenny Denard? He's staying down court trying to steal the pass, and we're going to see a play right here. Inside, Kenny Denard does steal that one. Great hands inside, gives the ball up very well. Duke really not running as well as they did before.
Live action, Jack Gibbons makes it 11-6 Kentucky. The Wildcats have their biggest lead, 5 points with 14:50 left. Inside to Banks, good fake. It'll count if it goes, but it doesn't drop for Banks as the foul is on Kentucky. Joe Hall, 60 years, he's won 134 games. Gibbons, perhaps his premier player. He's been so consistent, has his first foul.
Dick, if Kentucky moves up to 8 points, they're going to go to the 1-3-1 zone. It's going to make it very difficult for Duke then, because they're so big, they take you out of your range, and you only get one shot against their 1-3-1 zone.
Banks drops it in there. His nickname is Tinkerbell because of his good humor. He's a happy man, and, well, he can fly, too, for that matter.
What I think's happening to Duke right now, being a young team, emotionally, they're exhausted. Now, in another minute or so, they should be able to get their composure again. Kentucky a little bit more used to this kind of pressure situation.
Now Banks 2 free tosses, his first points of the game. Cut Kentucky's lead to 3, 14:41 left. Kentucky easily breaks the press. Roby helping out at midcourt. As you know, Billy, we'll be picking a player to receive the Gillette Most Valuable Player of the Game Scholarship Award, and tonight that honor is worth $5,000.
1-3-1 half-court zone press now, Duke. They changed their defense a little bit, much more active out here.
Slater sets up Lee. James Lee rams it home. He loves the power dunk.
There's experience for you, Dick. They saw the defense, recognized it, and just executed perfectly.
Watch Lee, intensive defense. Spanarkel. Harrell, Johnny Gunn they call him. High arch in there. Harrell, who rarely shoots, bangs home his first bucket, and it's 13-10 Kentucky.
You made a good point there, Dick. He very rarely shoots, but you know what? He takes a lot of big shots in the game, which is very unusual.
In the corner, Kyle Macy, and he hits again. Macy, the 6th-race sophomore from Peru, Indiana. Kentucky by 5. Jaminski can't hit. Rebound, Roby. It's Clater, and the foul is on Clater.
Good call.
Denard had established position, and Clater did have one step.
It was a good pass by Clater. He split the zone. Lee took it in there, and he really is a great player inside.
Al McGuire, they say Lee's power dunk, they call it the Ernest Hemingway dunk.
Why?
Because when he rams it home, it shatters the whole building and the earth moves.
Oh, for whom the bell's tolled.
15-10,
Oh.
Kentucky leads Duke. The young Blue Devils trying to ward off the Wildcats, number 1 in the nation.
Suddath into the ball game now. Bill Foster looking for a little shooting.
Snarkle can't hit. And Duke very cold. 13-10 and a turnover. And Lee gave Snarkle a little shove up to say, you go get it because it's going to belong to you.
Joe Hall didn't want that pass thrown right there. He's got a working margin, 15-10. He'd like them to be a little bit more solid.
That was 21, excuse me, Al. The number 21, Bob Bender, comes into the game for Duke University at a guard position. Bender played on the Indiana team that won the NCAA championship 2 years ago. Transferred at midseason. There's that jump. What a shot. Cheminsky's jump hook makes it 15-12. He has 6.
Great shot. Roby is a good defensive player also.
He played 7 minutes. Inside Roby, blocked by Suddath. Basket is good. Roby showing his power. The ball was blocked for a moment, and he still scores.
Good pass. Good pass on the inside. Actually, that was a case right there where Banks was not in the passing lane. Roby showed a great power move there and just overpowered Suddath.
Duke cannot play a 1-3-1 zone against Kentucky. They're too powerful underneath.
That's right, Al. What's happening is the baseline man is being caught with a real bad disadvantage. They'll probably go back to the 2-3 they used earlier.
Knocked away by Gibbons. What hand? And almost stolen by Roby.
Kentucky playing some tough defense out there, man-to-man.
Bender inside to Cheminsky, knocked away. Gibbons came up with a loose ball. Kentucky down court with a 5-point lead.
Here's a big basket. They hit this, they'll go to the 1-3-1 zone. Let's see if it happens.
19-12, 7-point lead for Kentucky, their biggest margin. It comes with 12 minutes, 15 seconds left in the first half. No, Kentucky stays in the man-to-man.
Well, they might be thinking their man-to-man is so effective. Bad shot, but he got fouled.
James Lee had a piece of it as another freshman, Jim Suddath from College Park, Georgia, went up for that jumper, and Lee didn't like the call. His father is a Baptist minister in Lexington, Kentucky. He looks mean, but oh, is he tapioca inside.
Probably the best six man in the country. I'm talking about the guy from Kentucky, James Lee.
Well, he really made their team a lot different when he came in there.
A reminder that on Sunday, April 9th, that's 2 weeks from yesterday, NBC Sports World will feature from the University of Kentucky the USA All-Stars against the Russian team, USSR. Some of the great players for them from this Kentucky team will be featured 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 2:30 Pacific Time. That's 2 weeks from yesterday. Suddath has his first point. He's averaging 2.5 points a game from Woodward Academy in College Park, Georgia.
That's only 2.5 points a game, Dick, but this young man has really come on well, and he's another freshman on their ball club that really has some promise.
Well, you know, he's a standstill shooter. For him to get a shot off, one of his teammates have to pick him up.
And that's one of the reasons, of course, the 1-3-1 might be just exactly what he wants. He's coming out of the game. Bill Foster saying, well, they're going to play man-to-man. I've rested Denard long enough. Full court press.
The score is 19-14, not 19-15, and the foul is on Bender of Duke. Denard went out. Or check that, Denard is in for Jim Suddath for Duke University.
That was a sweat foul, high school foul.
Now they're dropping out of that press. The press really hasn't been very effective, primarily because Macy sees up court so well.
Al, so far it appears the officials are letting him play.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job.
There's the 2-3 zone. They've gotten out of the 1-3-1 because of that power inside.
There's Roby. Oh, a nice move, but he can't score. Rebound by Getch. Knocked away by Scheidler of Kentucky. So Joe Hall has made 3 substitutions. He has Scheidler, number 25, a sophomore. 32 Lee, also into the game. And for Duke, it's Bender. And number 44, Scott Getch, a 6'9" junior from Chatsworth, California, who has replaced Cheminsky.
Bill Foster uses substitutions to give fellows rest for about a minute and a half. He's been able to get by without a deep bench.
A foul called on Gibbons of Kentucky, his second. Jack Gibbons.
1-1 now, Dick.
Already, Kentucky has its 7th foul. It comes with 11 minutes, 25 seconds left in the half. Duke has 5 team fouls. So to the line goes Bender, I believe. No, it's going to be no one wants it.
Well, actually, what happened, it was the man without the ball that was fouled. You see Gene Banks going to go to the line, but I don't believe it was Gene Banks' foul.
Banks, 71% free throw shooter. 19-15, Kentucky. Chuck Alexinas, a 6'10 freshman from Morris, Connecticut.
They just go down to that bench and pull out another guy, don't they, Al?
Kentucky's number 50.
They seem to pull out a Clydesdale each time.
So right down for that. Press really hadn't been effective as far as bothering Kentucky at all.
Scheidler threw Alexinas' hands, and Bender comes up with it, and he is fouled by Alexinas, the big number 50. He's a giant young man, 6'10 and 250. It's interesting that Alexinas, 6'10", is from Connecticut, a freshman, and so is Cheminsky, who went to Monroe, Connecticut. Two big men from a state not known for producing a lot of basketball talent. They've had their good ones. Here are two that have migrated away and potential big stars.
You know what's very important about making a pass like that, Al? You've got to remember who's on the catching end. Normally they'd have Roby catching that ball. Alexinas doesn't have the same kind of hands.
Well, he just came into the game, too. He's a freshman. He's a little nervous. The coaches are nervous. We're nervous. The fans are nervous.
Bender rattles it home. Remember, Duke is the best free throw shooting team in the nation this year. Kentucky's in the top 10. So far, they're 9 for 9. So Duke 10 for 10. That's kept them in the game. They trail by only one.
It's interesting to see how long Bill Foster's going to stay with that full court press.
Roby helping out, throws it away.
First one tonight.
Intended for Lee, and Duke, leading 2-0 off the opening bell, has a chance to get the lead for the first time since.
There's a case Lee didn't come to the ball that time. He was open.
Duke's press, they don't try to steal the ball. They wait for you to throw it away.
Cheminsky can't hit a 15-footer. This is Scheidler.
Oh.
He's got a clear path.
Good move.
And it's tipped in by Roby. Rick Roby with a left hand follows it in for the Wildcats.
There's the value of the big man that'll be willing to run down the court. Roby and Cheminsky do it better than any two big guys around.
I thought Bender made a little mistake. Then he come up on the
Try
man
to
instead of
challenge.
going back and protecting the basket.
Banks trying to get inside, double team, clears it to Spinarkle. Bender. Cheminsky blocked, but a foul is on Lee of Kentucky. Lee is so strong, he blocked the ball, but when he came through on the block, he hammered the shooter, and Bill Foster looks at that scoreboard, 21-18.
Super camera work from up top. Excellent touch passing that time by Bender. May have charged Roby before that play, and there's Lee coming through, and you're right, Dick. He's so strong with those ham hock arms of his, he just ran right through Cheminsky.
What would you call a player like that, Al?
I call it hammering a guy to the floor with your elbow. His elbow caught his head that time, not his hand.
Cheminsky and Duke perfect from the line. Cheminsky now 3 for 3. Duke is a team 11 for 11. And the sophomore, 18 years of age, looking for his 8th point. Boy, you give them free tosses, and that's what they are. They're 3 points for Duke, 21-20. Duke, 12 of their 20 points from the free throw line.
Back to the 2-3 zone. Now they're really changing up, trying to find the defense that they're comfortable with.
It's an active zone, and watch how they try to keep their hands up to make those passing lanes look closed.
Duke playing much better out of the 2-3 than they were the 1-3-1.
Levon Williams, number 52, is in for Kentucky. He's the sophomore from Denver, Colorado, 6'6".
You watch Kyle Macy change their offensive pattern to go to high-low. There it was right there.
Lee misses. Cheminsky rebounds. And Duke again, trailing by 1. We're at the halfway mark of this first 20-minute period. Banks! Oh! Banks exploding for the basket, and it's no basket. Apparently dribbled it on the baseline.
This is an interesting play. Gene Banks really showing you how explosive a young man here he is. There he goes. We couldn't see the legs right there, but they call walking on the play, but it was a great move.
Should have given him a transfer, 3.5 steps, Billy.
Timeout here in St. Louis, Missouri, where Kentucky leads Duke by 1. As NBC Sports wraps up this exciting collegiate basketball year. Golf and, of course, baseball are ahead. First order of business, the Greater Greensboro, next Saturday and Sunday. And that will be followed by the Dinah Shore Colgate Classic from the Palm Desert area of Southern California. And don't forget, in that one, Arnold Palmer will be shooting for a hole-in-one that'll be worth $1 million to someone. 21-20 Kentucky, a big play when Banks had a possible three-point play but traveled.
Nick, there you see Kentucky changing their pattern now. They want to get a man on the high post.
Loose ball, and Williams picked it up. Jaminski rebounds for Duke, the big guy averaging 10 a game.
Kentucky doing a great job getting back against the break, which has been one of Duke's best plays in the entire playoff.
Denard averaging around 10 points a game. Duke now has rested everyone. Great pass to Spinarco, but he can't handle it cleanly. Does he save it? No. His foot was on the line. Jim Bain, the official, right there to call it. And let's hope Spinarco's all right. Helped off the Kentucky bench. That's joining the camp of the enemy.
Considering the score 21-20, that's not very a good idea to try that lob in there. What do you think, Al?
Well, I think the one that stopped it was Macy. Came over and stood still and made Spinarco look down. That's why he dropped the ball. It would have been called for charge otherwise.
Jimmy's got the good hands, not a great leaper. Tough play to make up.
Yeah, but Kentucky from the weak side, they come over and block.
Kentucky has scored only 2 points in the last 3 minutes. Roby, and he was slapped. You could hear that one right here at courtside. I believe it was Denard who got a hand on his wrist. That'll send Rick Roby to the line for Kentucky as Denard has his first foul. Roby, All Southeast Conference, second-team All-American. Well, you can see why Duke might be doing well. Debbie Ridley, she may be the first female manager to make it to the finals. Times are changing.
I think we'll pass on that and go on with the ball game.
Roby trying to make 1 out of 2. So Kentucky is 4 for 7. Duke is a perfect 12 for 12. That's the difference, although Kentucky leads by 2.
Von Williams on Gene Banks. I think Gene Banks would like to have that ball a little bit.
Scheidler reaching in, and the foul is on Jay Scheidler of Kentucky. Al, it is very warm here in the Checkerdome. It was warm in the first game, and with all these active fans, I wonder if that might not be a factor as we look ahead.
Well, if anything, it's going to drain has to hurt Duke because their bench isn't as long as Kentucky. One of the key things about heat, as long as your locker room is not warm. Years ago, when people used to play games in basketball, they'd push the heat up in your locker room. You'd come out for the second half and you were a basket case.
You mean if you were the home team, you kept yours cool and had the heat on in the other? That was the first miss by Duke, and it remains 21-20. Scheidler and Macy outside for Kentucky. James Lee, not there. Denard with a rebound. The 6'7" forward from King, North Carolina. Town so small that he says, I don't know how many we have, around 100.
Oh, it's bigger than that now, Dick.
He said they just got their first traffic light, and it also serves as the only street light in town. Banks ties for Duke.
He wanted that ball. He's been wanting it the last 3 times down the floor, and they finally got it to him.
Gene Banks with 6 points. Tie a knot at 22 with 8 minutes left in the first half.
We'll have to watch Macy try to dissect this zone.
The foul will be on Denard for bumping into the shooter, Roby. Roby scores.
Here's Gene Banks trying to get open. Really rubs off the screen well. Uses both Roby and Jaminski. Gets the ball. He wanted it for a long time. Went up with a jumper right on the money.
Well, that's a tough 2 points here. Denard goes out with his second foul. And at the line, Roby shooting for the 3-point play. Jim Sudduth, the freshman, 6'6". Number 30 is in for Duke.
Kenny Denard leads the NCAA in floor burns.
You know, the thing about Rick is the fact that when he gets that ball in tight, he explodes to the basket. And, you know, he plays like he's about 6'5" or 6, but at 6'10", it's just amazing what a fine athlete he is.
Roby has his 10th point of the game. He set a new Kentucky record this year for field goal percentage, well over 60%.
There's a good rub-off screen on the inside to Spinarco.
Banks can't hit.
Oh,
He goes down heavily, and the foul is on James Lee. You talk about 2 power players. James Lee, 32, 6'5", and about 230 for Kentucky, and Gene Banks, Boy, look as if somebody just cut open their skin and put iron inside there for muscles.
But Lee's 3 years older than Banks, and you can imagine what Gene Banks is going to be in the senior year at Duke.
That's third on Lee, and of course I think Phillips also has 3. So those are the interchangeable keys for Kentucky. A little bit of a problem here in the first half. A lot of time remaining.
Banks trying to cut into Kentucky's 3-point lead.
Rather unusual foul shot for a powerful man. He spreads his feet very wide. Really anchors himself.
Yeah, you should only put your feet as wide as your shoulders, Phil.
25-24. Banks a perfect 6 for 6 from the line, has a total of 8.
And the zone defense full court changes to a 2-2-1 type press now. Really showing a lot of different strategies.
Nice pass, and it's Gibbons over to Minsky. Oh, what a soft
He's
touch.
automatic from there.
27-24 the Wildcats with 7 minutes 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Kentucky is led almost throughout. Minsky, he has to have room to come down. Scheidler did not give him room to get his feet on the floor.
Scheidler kind of settled underneath him. It was an excellent call by the official.
Scheidler has his second foul to the dismay of Joe Hall, the head coach of Kentucky.
Rick Roby a little bit out of position that time. He got picked off by his own man. Excellent pass.
Bill Foster, his wife Shirley, father of 4 daughters. What a year it's been. He didn't even know if he'd get into the tournament. Here he is in the final game, and his young team is behind by only 2. Cheminsky is 5 for 5 from the line today.
He's always been a good coach, Dick. Matter of fact, he also is an ice cream addict.
At Rutgers and at Utah, fans there will recall bringing winners to those universities. In comes number 40 for Kentucky, Fred Cowan. He's a 6'8 freshman from Sturgis, Kentucky.
Well, if you were a backcourt man that had that kind of view of the defense, you probably could score every time.
Great job with our cameras. We have 10 different cameras shooting the action of this 1978 championship game. Scheidler. Oh! A 22-footer by Scheidler makes it 29-26. He went home on Friday night. His mother seriously ill. Didn't sleep much. Had a big game Saturday.
There's the 1-3-1 zone now for the first time by Kentucky. They do it with a 3-point lead.
And there's the turnover, and it's Roby, the 6'10 senior, bringing it up court. Holds up well. Scheidler, he wants it. It's short. Rebound. Cowan blocked Cheminsky. Just tipped it away on the upward flight.
Great block by Cheminsky. Never knocks that ball out of bounds. He just goes up softly and gets a piece of it. Duke really needs to change their lineup in the ballgame right now, but there's their shooter, Sutton.
Goes over the back of the board, out of bounds to Kentucky. Getting a little physical, and the official warning Roby and Getz to take it easy as they were in a shoving match.
Joe Hall is taking Scheidler out, letting him sit down. Scheidler was so pumped up, he just wanted that shot.
Truman Plater has replaced Scheidler in the backcourt for Kentucky. 6 minutes remaining before the intermission.
Al, it's interesting how Bill Foster has been using his substitutes, giving everybody about a minute and a half rest periodically.
He's moving them on the clock, Billy. That's to keep him fresh, and also to shotgun the foul.
Spinarco made the play, and that's Spinarco with the ball, and he scores. That's why he's regarded as one of the top players in the country. He leads his team in steals. He deflected the pass. Duke got it, and it paid off for Spinarco as he had the honors at the other end. 1-point game. 5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. First half. Gibbons, great thing. Ryan drives it home. It never appeared that ball was high enough to go home.
That shot was unbelievable. He can go more than 4 or 5 inches above the rim than he can.
And he made the great fake and made the jump shot on the way down. Super play.
He had 3 men in the air on the fake. 3-point lead for Kentucky. 5 minutes remaining first half.
Looking for the lob pass, but without Banks and Denard in the game, it's not available.
Spinarco outside. Tip. Cheminsky. Nice play. He went up, found the basket, and kissed it off the glass. 31-30. Cheminsky with 11.
We'll see him in Russia in 1980 on NBC.
I'll tell you, that was just 2 great jump shots that we saw in a row there.
Plater looking for help. The cool Macy, a sophomore, into Gibbons. He scores again. Goose Gibbons, he's only 6'4", a forward. What a player. He has 11.
He did a smart thing there, Al, by not putting the ball on the floor. He's shooting it right to Kaminsky's face.
He says, there's one right in your face, right back at you.
Sutton passes up a good shot, so Bender fires. He can't hit. Rebound, Getch. Foul is on Getch. Oh, that could have gone either way. And Bill Foster say, hey, let's go into more revolving offense. Foster.
Both teams in a 1-and-1 now.
Foster attended Bloomsburg State. That's near where you grew up, isn't it?
Not too far away.
State of Pennsylvania. There's one of the Al McGuire faithful here to watch the action tonight. 33-30. He asked for your autograph 3 times tonight.
That matches some of the clothes he wears when he walks around
Oh,
town.
Billy, oh. God, I don't want to get into that.
Jack Gibbons hit the line.
You dress like Astor's pet horse, Billy.
All right, that's a technical. Gibbons rattles it home. He has 12 points for Kentucky.
Boy, he's been the difference here in the first half. Great performance.
Dick Enberg with Al McGuire, Billy Packer with the Checkerdome in St. Louis, the championship game, the NCAA, and Kentucky has a 5-point lead, 35-30, as we have a timeout called. 4 minutes, 19 seconds remaining in the first half. The top-rated Wildcats lead the Final Four Cinderella Duke by 5. Well, Ben, there's one more big game left here on NBC Sports in this college basketball year. Some of our all-stars against the Russians. 2 weeks from yesterday, listen to the names involved. Bailey of Rutgers, Bird of Indiana State, Carroll of Purdue, Gibbons of Kentucky, Lee, Macy, Roby of Kentucky, Darrell Griffith of Louisville, Irvin Johnson, Michigan State, Sidney Moncrief of Arkansas, David Greenwood, UCLA, Bill Ford and Michael O'Corn of North Carolina, and they'll be coached by this man, Joe Hall, who has said this has been a season without celebration for us. So much has been expected. We have to win tonight.
That's a tough road to follow right there, isn't it, Al, to be under that kind of pressure?
Well, coaches are tremendous competitive individuals. When you go to a heavyweight program like Kentucky, you're expected to win. But in Joe's 6 years, he's averaged over 22 wins a season. Coach Ruffin, over 40 years, averaged 21 wins a season. But he's uptight. I don't think he's going to leave Kentucky. There's been rumors in the papers that he would. But I just think it's been a long season, and he just needs a rest.
2-3 zone now by Kentucky for the first time tonight. They're changing things up themselves after the timeout.
Spinarkle inside, and the foul is on Spinarkle for charging.
Good play by Gibbons. He's doing everything right in the first half.
There's Hall. He's 49 years of age. He said, regardless of what happens tonight, I'll be feeding my cattle on the farm tomorrow. I have a feeling if he wins tonight, he won't have time for the herd. 35-30 Kentucky with 3.5 minutes remaining in this first 20-minute period.
Both teams using the same defense now at 2-3. The difference being the fact that Kaminsky's up a little bit higher in his team.
Duke trying to check Kentucky, but the Wildcats can afford to be patient. They have the lead, 5 points. 3 minutes, 14 seconds remaining. Macy, the traffic cop in the Kentucky offense. And that's Gibbons. He can't hit, tapped out. Spinarkle's quick hands come up with it for Duke. Denard to Harrell. Denard is open. Inside to Kaminsky. Spinarkle.
Nice play by Duke. Very patient. Good passing, but what you've got to point out for Kentucky is the fact that they're not giving Duke any uncontested layups on that break. Getting back beautiful.
Gibbons to Williams, or Cowan it is. That's Plater in the corner. Too long. Spinarkle, and the break for Duke is on. Great pass to Denard, to Harrell, to Denard. Inside, and he's on the baseline. That's a tough break for the Blue Devils. He went too far.
And trying to make some passes that really weren't there.
In contrast to the pressure under Joe Hall, this man can smile. Bill Foster, his team has gone much farther than he expected. He's going to go home a hero tonight regardless.
That's the way life is. He'll probably be given a lifetime contract tonight. But what happens, you build a monster and it ends up beating you. Coach Rupp has built the monster, and Joe Hall determined to take it over. He was on Coach Rupp's staff, and it's just the way of life in coaching.
Phillips missed the shot, and Duke had it, but again, it was Denard dribbling the ball on that red baseline.
Kenny Denard, such an emotional basketball player, and both times he tried to rip the ball off instead of just patty caking it.
35-32 Kentucky. We're down to the 2-minute mark.
Unusual lineup that Kentucky has in the game right now.
There's a pick, and Gibbons hits it again. He's made 4 in a row. There's using a pick off his own defense. 15 for Gibbons. What a first half for the senior. Spanarkel in a crowd banks it in. 3 men on him, and Spanarkel rams home his 8th point of the game.
He's definitely a keeper, Billy. He has Houdini's hands, and he's so cool.
They say he's a fine student. He goes to the scholastics the way he plays the game. Just solid, consistent, works hard. Tipped in by Gibbons. He is everywhere. How many 21s are there out there in a white uniform?
What's happening to Duke when the ball goes into Phillips? Nobody coming back in from the outside to cut him off. Therefore, he's got a lot of time to operate.
Spanarkel inside. He can't hit. Gets his own rebound, and he is fouled by Phillips. And that'll be the 4th on team like Phillips of Kentucky.
Boy,
What
determination.
hustle.
Wow, amazing. And, of course, he played with another guy, and everybody always talks about this, is Mike O'Corn from North Carolina. They played on the same high school team. With their both great determination type attitudes, it must have been beautiful to watch him in high school.
Well, that's a lonely scene when you get 4 fouls in the first half. Spanarkel, a great free throw shooter, the best in the Atlantic Coast Conference this year, hitting over 86%, leads his team in scoring, in free throw shooting, and assists, and in steals. 10 points for Spanarkel.
There's the press back, first time in a while that Duke has been able to employ it.
Just a token press, Billy. It's not a serious type thing. They're just trying to break your rhythm.
Gibbons to Roby. Macy, they're looking for Gibbons. He's been the man that has shot them into the lead, and there he is again. Oh, tough break, but look at Williams. He misses, tipped, and Denard has it. Who fouled? It is Roby, or is it Williams? Williams of Kentucky. Lavon Williams, the 6'6" jumping jack from Denver, Colorado, has his first foul. They're talking about Bill Foster. He's been wearing the same navy blue blazer vest and plaid slacks since his team beat Clemson in the first round of the ACC tournament. Don't ask him why change. He says, well, it's just getting to smell good.
That's terrible.
Put in the corner, stands up by itself.
Well, it's been all winning, and you know the feeling. You wore that blue blazer a long time last year.
Yeah, last 7 games, and when the season was over, I gave it to a educational channel, and they auctioned it off for $550.
I knew it was that much.
I think they get more for Foster's.
39-37 for the final seconds.
ACC Billy.
Eugene Banks. He said he would have gone to the University of Pennsylvania, but they do not have the freshman eligible rule. How does that make you feel if you're the Penn head coach?
Same thing with Butch Lee at Marquette. He was supposed to go to Pennsylvania, but he didn't want to go with the freshman rule.
Listen to this. Duke University in the first half has made 20 of 21 free throws. They've missed only 1, and they trailed by only 1.
51 seconds, now 49. Let's see if Kentucky pulls it on out close to the last shot. A lot of time left.
Couldn't ask for more in this first 20 minutes.
If they don't get one off soon, they'll probably pull it back out.
They'll shoot soon, Billy.
Gibbons had it knocked away. He controls it, and he scores it. Has he been sensational? Jack Gibbons has 17. They get 19 for Gibbons.
Some catch that time by Kaminsky.
20 seconds left in the half. Dump it inside to Chaminsky. Can't get up a good shot.
Great
Rebound.
block out by
Roby.
Roby.
Time for Kentucky to add to its lead. It's Gibbons again. Oh, my. What a terrific play by Jack Gibbons. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, and the foul is on who?
It's a big call here.
It could be either man. They're pointing at both of them.
It's a big call right here.
Very important, this call.
Banks or Gibbons. Who is it?
We got a 5-point spread here. It's big.
It's a big
It's
call.
on.
What do we have?
He hasn't given us a signal yet. It apparently is on Duke University. So Gibbons will go to the other end.
That could be close to costing the game. So many games are won in the last few seconds of the first half.
We'll see the play coming up right here. There's now 3 seconds on the clock. You're going to see Banks go in. He pulls up, Going to try to slide through. Gibbons was there. Good call by the official.
As long as your feet are there, you can move your body then, because he definitely shifted his body into the man while he was in midair.
He was in position. Boy, that's a big, big turnaround when you consider how many points were scored by Kentucky in the last 15 seconds.
By Kentucky, by Jack Gibbons.
That's
He
right.
is Mr. Kentucky. He has 21 points to match his number in this first half. You hear him chanting in the background, goose, goose, goose. 3 seconds remaining. Gibbons with a 1-1.
And there was a case where you had the experienced Jack Gibbons against the freshman Gene Banks. Banks probably should have pulled up and take the jump.
Went for the last shot. Either go in 5 down or possibly 3 down. You're in a nice
Right.
position. Now they're gambling. They might go in 7 down. But there's 3 seconds left. As we said many times, that means there's more than 3 seconds.
And now one thing that Duke has to be careful of is the fact that Kentucky may press right here and go right after him trying to get the inbound steal. They can't be careless.
I doubt whether they'll do that, Billy, because they're in the 1-1.
There you go.
23 points in this
Oh,
half.
what a pass.
Roby, and he'll throw it back the other way. Well, if it had been Gibbons, it might have been. Look at the Kentucky faithful as they stand and cheer their Wildcats and Jack Gibbons at the end.
Interesting, too, the way Joe Hall is playing. Against the 2-3. Now he's put Lee down in low right in front of Jaminski.
There's Gibbons. He misses, but Lee there. And it's tipped in by Gibbons. Dan Gibbons. He's going to make Joe Hall smile yet.
Let's play one-on-ones. Binocle against Gibbons.
25 points for Gibbons. Jaminski, not there. Tipped in by Kenny Denard, number 33 of Duke. He's first points of the game.
Now that's the first time Duke's been able to capitalize against the 1-3-1 by having good baseline rebounding themselves.
Well, they're sending the second man on the baseline. Duke is surprisingly good. I thought this dream would end tonight, but it doesn't look like it's going to end.
Truman Plater hits a 20-footer for his 4th point of the game, and Kentucky leads by 5. Boy, a fast-paced second half. 2 minutes gone. Inside to Banks, and he's fouled by Lee. That'll be 4 on James Lee, and he has replaced Mike Phillips, who also has 4.
Critical foul for Kentucky because Lee was really playing a strong ball game in the low post.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a tough part of our business. Apparently, before the game tonight, there was a call to a TV station and here to the arena threatening the life of this player, Gene Banks. The police are aware of it. The security is very heavy. The coach knows, the coach of Duke. It's delicate reporting a live news event, but that's what we have, and it's unfortunate this becomes a part of tonight's story. Gene Banks does not know.
That's really a sick situation for a beautiful thing here like the NCAA championship where everything is really wholesome and healthy.
Banks looking for his 11th point. That was his first miss from the line. He made all 8 in the first half and misses them both.
There again, Kenny Denard staying down court a little bit too late. They thought they had a walk-in violation.
And a technical foul on Bill Foster. You hate to see that in a championship game, don't you, Al?
That was a quick call. A lot of times when the coach gets hit with a technical, it means he's right because it's a subconscious defense by the official. There was not a word said then. What he did, he made a sign of a traveling violation. Now, I might agree that it might have been a traveling violation, but the technical was very, very fast, and that's all I can say about it.
How could Jim Bain, the official, so far from Foster with all this noise, hear anything?
Well, I said he made the sign of the walk by rotating his hands.
No, Foster nailed with a technical, and it cost him 2 shots by Macy, and that's like giving Kentucky 2 points, and they get the ball. They have their biggest lead of 7 points again.
Now, that type of technical is only a misdemeanor because you don't lose the ball, too. See?
If he had the ball, it would have been worse.
Then it would have been a felony.
That would have been then a possible 6-point play. Now it's only a possible 4-point play. So Kentucky has a chance to get its biggest lead. They have it. Rick Roby punctuates that lead as he slams it home.
Oh, that was a tough call to make in this game.
That's Kenny Denard, and it may be that young Duke will come unglued now. Denard off the bench. What a play by Denard.
Great hands on that catch that time because it was a very tight pass.
12 points for Gene Banks.
They're still in the 2-3 zone out here. really scrapping hard. Actually, Denard's coming out too far in that 2-3. He's going to get himself caught. I think he's hurt.
Yes, he acts as if he's either tired or hurt. He's grimacing. He's giving a sign, take me out. That's Denard, far left of your picture.
Hey, call a referee's timeout and get the kid out of there.
Well, he doesn't see it, and of course you can't. If Kenny Denard would get his attention right now, he can't get his attention. He's going to have to gut it out.
The bench of Duke is trying to get the attention. There's Gibbons, and that was Denard's area. So Gibbons got an easy shot because Denard couldn't cover him. And Duke, he has a cramp apparently, and now timeout is called by the official. And there's Foster and Bain. Bain is the man who called the technical on Foster. And Foster saying, hey, what's going on here? 16 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the game. Kentucky leads by 9. Duke with the ball, trailing Kentucky 57-48. Carroll off to Jaminski. Spanarkel. Boy, Duke attacks that zone nicely. Spanarkel fouled. He had a piece of LaVon Williams as he followed in. Here's where Denard got hurt.
Seems to me that he must have twisted his ankle or something in there. There we go. See what happens.
Billy, I think the knee, Roby's knee caught the inside of his knee here. See,
Looks
it's
that
right,
way. Let's
yeah,
see.
right there.
Yeah, there he got him. He got it inside the knee. It looks like Kenny Denard's all right. He's over there walking around. I think he'll be back in the game shortly.
That's not a serious thing, but it's a painful thing.
He's been replaced by number 30, Jim Sutton, the freshman. Kentucky trying to build on its 9-point lead with 15 minutes and 40 seconds left.
I think there was a big technical foul in the Arkansas-Notre Dame game earlier tonight, which Arkansas won in dramatic style, and that turned things around for Arkansas. See how the teams react to it here in this one.
Kentucky taking a little air out of the ball now.
Yeah, I think that they're going to force Duke out of their zone.
Joe Hall standing across the way, orchestrating. As Slater misses the shot, he was fouled by Harrell, number 22 of Duke. There's the young freshman from Pine, North Carolina. Kenny Denard. Oh, what a relationship between Banks and Denard, two freshmen. That was one of the most beautiful pictures you'd ever want to see. Denard and Banks in that dance of joy after the victory on Saturday. Embracing, one would lift one and then the other would lift the other. What it's all about, Coach.
Only in college sports.
Slater, an excellent free throw shooter. And there it is. As they embrace, then Denard would pick up Banks, and then Banks would lift him high in the air. A dance of victory. Slater hits one of two, and that's Kentucky's biggest lead, 58-48. Plenty of time left, 15 minutes, 15 seconds.
With Denard out of the ballgame and Jaminski out of the ballgame also, it's going to be up to Spanarkel now to really take things over.
That's Getch in the post, and someone reaching in gets the foul. It is Gibbons of Kentucky. He is so lightning quick. Or maybe it's Macy. Maybe it's May. It is Kyle Macy. Not Gibbons, but Macy.
Joe Hall didn't want to foul there. He wants to force Duke now to put it up from the outside, and by slowing down the tempo on the other end of the court, I think he's just teasing Bill Foster a little bit, Al, trying to see whether he will come out of the zone yet.
What he's doing here is a tighter zone, a 2-3 zone, rather than their famous 1-3-1.
Boy, the ball tipped by Macy and recovered by the ever-present Spanarkel. The high lob to Banks. And, that goes to Kentucky as Gibbons went over the back to knock it out of bounds.
That lob pass has been there throughout the year, but Gibbons did a superlative job that time, being in the right place at the right time.
I wonder how he eluded the foul, too. He really can jump.
Now Duke is bringing their zone out a little bit higher. A 1-3-1 half court. Probably going to trap out of this if they get a man in the corner.
Kentucky leads by 10. Number one almost the entire year. Arkansas 1 week in the polls, number one. Marquette 1 week. But other than that, from opening bell, it's been these Wildcats. Jack Gibbons has 29 points in 3 consecutive years. He made the coaches all Southeastern Conference team, and the Wildcats smell another title. 14:21 left. Kentucky by 12. As the NCAA begins its 73rd year, concerned with its responsible role in emphasizing the importance of intercollegiate athletics in our society, it looks forward to continuing its part in the vibrant heritage of America. Highest priority goes to the service it provides to over 800 voluntary members, acting as the true voice of college athletics. Preceding message furnished by the NCAA. This is Dick Enberg at the Checkerdome in St. Louis, Missouri. Al McGuire, Billy Packer, Kurt Gowdy with me. It's 60-48. Kentucky leading young Duke with 14 minutes remaining in the game. Kentucky has led most of the way. Jaminski back in the game.
Oh,
Jump
what
hook.
a tough shot.
Jump hooked by the sophomore Jaminski. He has 14 points.
What made that so tough? You can see that Kentucky's bringing their zone back into the top of the key now, and it's going to make it really tough to get shots on the inside as he just did there. And Duke's coming out farther.
That's Slater.
Oh, what a block!
But it's going to be goaltending. Goaltending against Jaminski.
Great drive.
Duke.
Great drive by Clater, really playing a positive game out there. The ball goes up, oh, pretty close to the peak right there.
62-50 as Slater gets the basket. And pressure is on the Duke Blue Devils. Here's a steal by Levon Williams. He could have gone with it, elected not to dribble.
Nice play.
Well, is this the second plateau, Coach?
Yeah, they're at a breakout point right now. If they score here now, it's going to be a different ball game. It'll be very tough for Duke to get back into it.
It's man-to-man, and Kentucky really taking advantage of it.
Roby, he has such big strides. He went from one side of the basket to the other to score. He has 14, and Kentucky starts to pour it on.
Duke will not be able to play a man-to-man. They're going to be a little bit tired to start off with, and Kentucky too quick and big for them.
Jaminski can't hit. Jaminski gets the rebound, and the foul is on number 52, Levon Williams of Kentucky. Watch Roby. Look at the big stride on this racehorse from Kentucky.
Well, he made a good pump fake and went all the way across the lane, laid it up beautifully, and he's a tower strength. 16 points. What he does so well, he guards the center sometimes, strong forward other times. Really been a good man on the break.
Plus, he covers the 94 feet of the court. Very few centers can cover it the way he does. Does a nice backdoor play there.
Jack Gibbons gets the rebound, and with a score 64-50, and time ticking away, 13 minutes left.
Man-to-man, and this could be tough for Duke right here.
Gibbons can't hit, but Roby right there to get, no, he misses the shot. Gibbons gets it. He scores, and he is fouled. Jack Gibbons, 31 points, and the Wildcat faithful are up and screaming again.
Incredible power play inside. Gibbons having the game of his life. Puts it back up on Jaminski. Jaminski has to foul him. We're seeing the best of Kentucky right now.
A break in the action, 62-50. Kentucky trying to win their 5th title. We return to our studios for this message. NBC Sports covers the Greater Greensboro Open next weekend on Saturday, 3:30 Eastern Time. And big money at stake, $240,000. And that'll be followed as you get a golf doubleheader each day by the Colgate Dinah Shore Open. That's a very rich purse for the ladies, $305,000 at stake. And Arnold Palmer will be driving into one of those par threes. And if he hits a hole-in-one, it's $1 million to someone. Tonight's attendance, 18,721. And many of them are from Kentucky. And are they in a love affair with this man as they have been for 4 years? Goose Gibbons.
Stick with that man-to-man defense that Duke is forced to play now. They had to go to it, but even though there was 14 minutes to go, had to come to try to make their move on Kentucky. Kentucky really has taken advantage of it.
Bob Bender in the game with the ball for Duke. Spinarco, tough defense. He scores. He's fouled by Cowan of Kentucky.
The last time out, Bill Foster says to his club, hey, with 16 points now, we might be 17 down. There's a lifetime left. There's 12 and a half minutes left. Let's cut it down to about 6 or 8 points with about 6 minutes to go, and then we'll make our final run at it. They had 2 very, very tough breaks. Just before the half on the charge and foul, and the technical foul in the second half. Kentucky was leading 51-46. After the technical foul, they were up 9 points instead of 5.
Spinarco converts the three-point play. He has 16 points in the game, and it's a 66-53 Kentucky lead as Duke goes into some pressure in the backcourt. Kyle Macy is out for Kentucky. Jay Scheidler, the sophomore, is in.
Good pass by Gibbons that time.
Blocked by Banks, recovered by Clater. That's Cowan. Rebound Banks. Boy, is he strong. Remember, he's only a freshman.
Long pass.
Jaminski steals it nicely. Spinarco inside, way off the mark. He might have been passing. He did.
I think he passed that ball. It'll go as an attempt, but I believe just classy ball player made the pass.
So Spinarco has made 5 points, 2 on a pass and on a 3-point play, but Roby comes right back to score his for Kentucky. Bender, Denard, and Kenny Denard hits. Oh, I'll tell you, these young Blue Devils don't know the word quit, do they?
I'm anxious to see which team tires out in this run quicker, though, Al. Somebody's going to have to substitute because it's really a furious pace. Good pass.
And a great play by Bender to save a sure 2 points as Roby was alone. Bender, if Duke would have won tonight, or does win, would become the first player to ever be on 2 championship teams, 2 different schools.
Smart play by Jaminski to hold his ground. Bender picked up the next man after the pass, came up with a big block.
Off Gibbons, out of bounds to Duke. So the Blue Devils, down by 16, have cut that deficit to 11 and can get under that double-digit mark, Al, and you feel that's important.
That's a psychological thing. I think we should tell the fans that Bob Bender played on the Indiana team 2 years ago in the NCAA.
Denard inside the Banks. Powers his way, can't hit, but a foul is called on whom? Look at Banks and Denard. They appreciate each other. I love that friendship.
How would you like to have to coach against those guys for the next couple of years, Al, knowing they're going to be bookends there at the forward position?
They're just outstanding, but the emotion they have is what makes them.
That's the first foul on Roby. Gene Banks. Boy, was he highly recruited. Notre Dame thought they might get him. Pennsylvania. He elected to go to Duke. It's down to 10, 68-58. Plenty of time, 11 minutes, 20 seconds. So they're under the 10-point deficit. 9-point Kentucky lead, so Duke in 2 minutes has whittled 7 points away from the Wildcat advantage.
Interesting that press became more active and it's opening things up for Kentucky when they go down the court.
There it is, tipped in on a 3-1 break by LaVon Williams, and it's 70-59 Kentucky.
LaVon Williams has his own sewing machine. He makes his own clothes.
There's a foul reaching in. And before he goes to the line, let's go back to the tip by Williams.
Well, here's what's happening. The press is becoming more active. Things are opening up, though, for Kentucky when they beat it 3-on-1. Williams and Roby both in position to make that tap. So Duke has to take the gamble, Al. They've got to go ahead and press. When they do, if it's ever beaten, it's going to go all the way.
If anyone ever doubted the importance of Kyle Macy, we've just seen it. He was out for a couple of minutes, and Kentucky was not the same team.
He's the glue that holds them together.
He's back in there now. Spinarco from 20, right down the bottom of the well. What a clutch performer, junior Jim Spinarco. Duke has the top 8 players coming back next year. Only one senior, that's Bruce Bell, and he plays rarely. 19 for Spinarco, a 9-point Kentucky lead, 10.5 minutes left.
Gene Banks had a good luck charm when they asked Denard if he had a good luck charm. He said, yes, it's Gene Banks. I agree with him.
Kenny Denard picks his fellowship carefully and wisely. He has 6 and made a good defensive play to save what appeared to be a sure hoop.
They go in zone out of bounds, and now that they've whittled the lead down, they're staying in the zone a little bit. That man-to-man was disaster, but Bill Foster had to make a move.
We introduce the players for you. At guard for Kentucky, number 4, Macy, 25, Scheidler. LaVon Williams, Jack Gibbons at the forwards, Rick Roby at center. Spinarco, Bender, Denard, Banks, and Kaminsky, the starting 5 with the exception of Bender, in there for Duke.
Yeah, Macy pulled everybody back out, said, let's get organized. We've got the lead and the ball. Force Duke to play a little bit. Duke's going man-to-man.
We're under the 10-minute mark. 10 minutes left, 70-61 Kentucky. Out of bounds on the kick by Bender, and Kentucky will play it from the side.
Billy, they're just faking a man-to-man,
That's right.
and they're setting back into their zone again. They have to come out because they're behind with the 5 count.
Right, what they're doing, too, Al, is they're trying to match up a little bit out of it so that they do have some kind of pressure man-to-man. Watch both Bender and Kenny Denard, but they're still in the zone.
Scheidler, not there, but there's Gibbons. The omnipresent Jack Gibbons has another rebound. And there he is, the Goose.
Oh, he's having a night, isn't he? Career.
33 points for Gibbons, stolen by Macy. And Kentucky with an 11-point lead, riding on the shoulders of Jack Gibbons. There he is.
Now Duke is trying to compensate so much for Gibbons, but they're not covering everybody else.
Look at him go for the ball, and a whistle traveling against Kentucky.
You know, Dick, people seem to think that Kentucky's blowing them out. Hey, it's an 11-point game. We got over 9 minutes. Anybody's ball game. Big basket coming up.
Bill Foster trying to tell his team be patient as well. I think that's an important point, Al McGuire, and the fans, reporters, diss it off of them. Coaches know the patience of the game. You can't hurry.
Coach Wooden has always said, don't hurry, but be quick.
Inside the bank, blocked by rejected by Roby. And here come the Wildcats. And look at Spinardi, he was there anyway.
Amazing play by Spinardi. He faked out to try to block the pass and pulled back in. And looks like James Lee coming back in there with the 4 fouls on him.
Levon Williams goes out. He makes a young mistake. And returning to the lineup for Kentucky, big James Lee, number 32. He's playing with 4 fouls.
Still in the zone in Kentucky.
Here's slap that time. Denard inside to Banks. He's open. Good setup by Kenny Denard. The two friends, Denard to Banks.
Basketball at its best right there.
8:40 left. 16 for Banks.
What Joe Hall wants his team to do is get into some kind of offense. Right now, a little bit confused. Nobody really going to the basket.
Why, look at that Spinardi. He must have 8-foot-long arms the way Plastic Man's on defense.
He's got to be a little tired also.
What's the call? Kicking against Duke. It'll go to Kentucky.
I believe that Kentucky needs a timeout to get their heads straight together. They seem to have indecision. An athlete with indecision is a no-no.
You're right, Al. What's happening to them? They don't know whether to hold the ball, let the clock go by, or go somewhere on offense. I think Joe Hall realizes they need some more points. They got to keep playing this game.
It's too early to go against the clock. You know what? Can I explain something here? I'll try to quickly. What you start with now is what they call milking. You try to move it to the next minute. That makes it the 8 to the 7. Then you play your regular game. As you get it down around 4 or 5 minutes, then you go to delay. A delay is when you take a 95% shot of making it. Then you go to your freeze. When you make your freeze move with a minute or 2 to go, that means you take no shots under any conditions if you're all alone. That's a strategy.
All right, you go from milking to delay to freeze. Three different offensive moves to take the clock away, to kill the clock. There's Gibbons.
Good pass.
Nicely by Banks.
He came a long way to deflect that, and you heard Roby in the background, I'm sure, say, hey, Jack, because he had the open cut, but Banks' great quickness was able to slap the ball away.
Hey, Billy, do you know what I just explained?
Yeah, I got you. The only thing is, that was your technique. Dean Smith and some others use others, but I think it's very good philosophy, Al.
Spinardi had his hands on the ball again. We are seeing some brilliant athletes on display tonight. Hall and Foster matching their wits. And it's Kentucky in the lead by 9, 72-63, less than 8 minutes left.
Well, Spinardi just working himself to a frazzle. He's going to be tired when this one's over.
Roby comes high.
How many times has Roby come out to be the outlet pass? Not a good shot there.
Oh, what a foul by Rick Roby. He's one of the candidates for the Wooden Award for the outstanding player in the country. That'll be announced next Sunday in Los Angeles.
That one.
Jaminski, rebound Suddeth, it'll count, and he's fouled by Scheidler.
Did my man Harry catch that one?
Excellent play on the inside that time by Suddeth. He was battling his own people for it. Hey, you see, Scheidler, that really is not milking it, Al. That's a 30-foot shot there, but look at Roby from the top of the key, came all the way down. Great play.
Give Harry Coyle a raise on that one.
Harry Coyle, George Finkel, our director and our producer, executive producer Don Ohlmeyer, our great camera crew, 10 of them lit up and firing away. It's another major league effort by NBC Sports, and to the credit of this great game. We hope you're enjoying it.
What I liked about Roby so much in that last play, Dick, is the fact that he was the outlet pass, 25 feet from the basket, then he ends up making his tap right under the hook. Here's that press again.
Gibbons helping out. It's down to 9, and Suddeth, had he made the three-point play, could have whittled another.
They need to break a guy to the high post. There he is.
James Lee to Gibbons. Scores his body so beautifully. Gibbons has a 35-point game. The NCAA final record, Bill Walton with 44.
Joe Hall does an excellent job at coaching.
Suddeth not there. Lee, a power rebound for Kentucky. With 6:45 left, the Wildcats have an 11-point lead and the Pumpkin, and time has been called.
Good time. Good call of the timeout. Get reorganized.
Well, I think that Duke is tired at the present time. They're starting to get a little fear. And the hardest thing in coaching is to stop fearing your ball players. There's no armament against fear.
You saw Duke play several times earlier this year, Billy Packer. Are you surprised they got this far?
No, I'm not surprised, to be quite honest. I think the Eastern Regional was one of the easiest trips to the Final Four. You know, in our show originally, before it all started, we talked about that. I think that they're a young club. They matured well during the course of the year. And Al, one of the big things you've always talked about bringing a team along is scheduling. Bill Foster took a chapter out of your book. He said, well, I scheduled some people that were easy to beat. I knew I had a hard season, and I needed these guys to get some confidence.
Yeah, he matured his team as it came along, and they peaked at NCAA time.
Not allow a second shot down here. We're just close to steal the basketball, and we're not getting the second shot. We're not getting the second shot.
Eavesdropping on Bill Foster. Now let's isolate on the star of the game, Kentucky's Jack Gibbons.
Well, this was a great pass. We don't see the pass by Lee, but he knew exactly where to go. Jack Gibbons used his body to shield Banks away, made a super play in there. There was the experience, Al. When the Kentucky team felt the middle open, Lee just broke to the middle. Gibbons and Roby went ahead and flared on the side and just moved with the ball. Just a super play.
Flash into the middle, took the pressure off the baseline. Gibbons snuck in behind him. Then he made a simple layup before a fella tried to dunk in that situation, and that's stupid, because you get an automatic 2 points without dunking.
And that timeout, let's see if they're going to go to a little delay game. Be kind of interesting. They're going to try to bring Duke out, make him go man-to-man. But Duke still is somewhat in that zone. They're just matching up right now.
Joe Hall has replaced Rick Roby with Mike Phillips. He's playing in the center position.
This is their freeze, and now they're going to go and play. They wanted to see what Duke would do.
Gibbons, a rare miss. Rebound, Banks. Big guy can handle it. Spinarco.
Yo,
wow.
pass.
You love to see the great pass. That may be the most exciting play in basketball. The well-executed pass with the easy shot.
He reminded me of my brother Dick Denny. My brother was really a great passer with St. John's and New York Knickerbockers. Passing is a lost art.
Well, what's interesting about that timeout, it helped Joe Hall get his team organized, but it also, right when Duke was starting to get exhausted, helped them get a slight rest there.
You see the clock under the 6-minute mark. Kentucky by 9. Phillips hits a baseline 8-footer. Mike Phillips of Kentucky, 4 points. Oh, a good Kentucky team, and they've proved it all season long. And they have 5.5 minutes to kill to clinch another NCAA title. Banks can't hit. Scheidler rebound. Oops, traveled. That's going to be a double dribble on Jay Scheidler as Banks hits the wood.
Banks is the guy that got the rebound on this play right here. Dishes it out very well. Going to get the ball back, but he keeps hustling. For the young players in the game, move without that ball, keep hustling. You get it back from a teammate unselfishly, as what Spinarco did right there.
You know, the last play, Billy, where Banks missed that layup on the alley-oop pass, the pass was too low. Anytime you see someone scoring an alley-oop pass, the pass is the key, not the scoring in the basket.
Boy, Gibbons and Roby and Macy and Lee, they're going to be on the USA team, and there's Macy with a near steal, but Banks gets it and scores it. David Greenwood, Bird, Griffith, Urban Johnson, Moncrief. Joe Hall will be the coach. That'll be 2 weeks from yesterday. Sports World from Lexington, Kentucky, from the Rupp Arena.
A lot of time, Al. They really went into a delay game. Once again, there's a little bit of uncertainty there. You talked about the milking. They still got to go for the score. There's one. Oh, that's a good block.
Oh, they called it goaltending. Goaltending.
Can't see that one. Bill Foster can't see that one either.
That one hurt.
What do you think?
There you go, right there. The ball on the way up. He gets a piece before it ever came close to hitting the backboard. Looked like a good block to me.
Touching the backboard doesn't make any difference, Billy.
Oh, no!
Denard thought he was fouled. You heard him say, oh, no.
Smart play by Spinarco trying to draw the charge. Not there. Mike Phillips was all alone.
Time running out on Duke.
Oh, what a play!
Jack Gibbons almost bounced the ball off an opponent's shoulder, stayed up there and scored. And there's Gibbons again. And a foul is on Gibbons. who has 37 points. He's only 7 points away from Bill Walton's NCAA final game record. And what a performance. His all-time high for Gibbons, the second man in Kentucky history, joins Dan Issel over the 2,000-point mark. Only 5 in the SEC in that history of that great conference have scored as many as 2,000 points. And Gibbons punctuating his career, trying to win his team a championship in his finale.
You know, Dick, it was really interesting. Before the game, I saw Jack and I said, you know, good luck. And he was very serious, and the tone of his game was that way. On the other side was Duke University. Kenny Denard came over to me and he said, hey, Billy, can you get me one of those white NBC jackets? I couldn't believe it.
Why don't you give him one of the 10 that you took out of the hospitality room?
I sold the 9. I only got one left for my kids.
Spanarkel at the line for the Blue Devils of Duke University. He'll be back next year. So will all of the players you've seen tonight playing for Duke. 20 points now for Spanarkel. Been a great tournament. It's had everything. The underdogs winning. Miami, Western Kentucky, an incredible performance by unknown Cal State Fullerton. Duke certainly coming out of the shadows of North Carolina. The Tar Heels getting most of the publicity this year, and Duke into the tournament. And then there's the consistency of the thoroughbreds from Kentucky. They've been good all year, and they're trying to cross that finish line with a win that they want ever so much. And no one can quite appreciate all the pressure on a team so good.
Well, full court man-to-man now. They're trying to go ahead and match up. Look at Gibbons trying to find an open hole.
Kyle Macy, Cooley nails a 20-footer, and Kentucky leads by 13.
Oh, the stratosphere.
Holy mackerel.
A man can't jump that high, can he?
He went so
Sutter's
high that he got burnt on re-entry.
4 minutes left, and the amazing young Blue Devils giving Kentucky a great game, but they haven't stopped this man. Go Skipper!
Oh, that hit the side of the backboard.
That isn't what he intended to do. You can't cut him that thin.
Goose, I give up. I give up, Goose. Stop.
39 for Gibbons. Spanarkel. Jaminski. Banks.
Well, they're really battling. This is a super effort on the part of both teams.
Spanarkel hanging, dumping. Banks tipped to Jaminski.
He's a little tired, but he still hits.
86-75, but time runs on. 3:15 left.
There's time. Duke has to make its last charge, and it's coming up right now. 3:11.
Trying to get Bender and Denard into the ballgame and have some fresh fruit. Spanarkel with a steal.
Here it comes.
2-on-1, set it for Spanarkel. Threw it away. The freshman got out of control. That's a possible 4-pointer, Al.
Exactly what happening now. You're getting some guys that have just gone to exhaustion. They don't have anything left to execute with.
Kaminsky really seems tired. Gibbons has 2 more. He has 41 points. He needs 3 to tie the all-time record. Jack Gibbons with an incredible performance.
Somebody needs to throw out a white foul.
I wonder who's going to get the most valuable in this game.
Let's do that now. That's a piece of business. Oh, all right. First, we better pay for it. We're going to give away $5,000 to Kentucky. We'll keep you in suspense and tell you who that might be who'll win our award. We'll be right back. There's the trophy that goes to the outstanding player in this championship game. It goes to Jack Gibbons School, Kentucky. Kentucky will get the trophy, earned from the Gillette Most Valuable Player Award that goes to number 21, Jack Gibbons. A trophy in Gibbons' name will be given to his school. In addition, a check from Gillette for $5,000 will be sent in Jack Gibbons' name to the General Scholarship Fund of the University of Kentucky. He has scored on 18 field goals and 5 free throws tonight. Oh, there he is. Oh, almost a steal. I wonder if he knows he's only 3 away from Bill Walton.
I don't think that that's something that really bothers him. The way he's playing, as intense as he is in this ball game, it's just going to come if it comes.
Spanarkel can't hit. Denard can't rebound. Bender fires it up and scores. Bob Bender, 6'2", muscling his way in to get to and a chance at a 3-point play. And now it's back to 11.
Are they tough kids? They get big motors. That means hard. And they're hanging in here. They're just unbelievable. This game is not over. I'm telling you, if they make their last charge here, there's over 2 minutes. I've seen things happen like this before. maybe he won't have to take back the most valuable player.
The hand is for Mike Phillips, who has just fouled out, congratulated by his teammates, Coach Joe Hall. Phillips leaves with 4 points. Did not have a big scoring game, but remember, this man got Kentucky to the finals. He led them in scoring in the first 3 games of the tournament.
Made those big free throws in the Mid-East Regional. Here goes the full court press again. What Kentucky doesn't realize is that Duke is sending all 5 guys to the boards to rebound. They could easily break a man long for a long pass and a layup.
A foul will be called on Bender of Duke, trying to stop the charge of Kentucky. 88-78 the game score with more than 2 minutes left, and Kentucky visits that 15-foot strike.
They stop the clock.
Well, Truman Claytor has to make this foul shot. What happens in foul shooting in tight situations, if one guy misses, then the next misses, and it's like the measles. Everyone starts catching it.
Wait a minute, what do we see right here? They're not in a free throw situation. Only 5 fouls on Duke. They're not in 1-and-1 yet.
Oh, excuse me.
Roby back in, and Bender with a try for the steal.
And not being in 1-and-1, they can go for some steals now, pick up a foul.
Kentucky with a 10-point lead as Lee goes in.
He lost the handle on the way in.
Rebound Denard of Duke University. Thanks to Art Hoffman, our statistician tonight.
Oh, what a catch.
Cheminsky can't hit the follow-up. Oh, that was a possible 3-point play. And look at Mike Cheminsky. He said, what am I doing? He said, I could miss 2 of those at $1,000.
You know, it's incredible when you look at those fellas on the floor. All of those players from Duke will be back, and every guy sitting on the bench will be back next year, except for one fella.
Cheminsky shooting 2. It's down to 9, 88-79.
There's a case when we talk about, particularly, Al, with only 5 fouls on Duke right now. They can use that clock very well now the rest of the way.
They also should have a sub over there getting in every time the ball goes dead, which stops the clock. I thought that James Lee shouldn't have taken that last shot.
That's right, he lost the handle.
That under 2 minutes, you should go after the clock, not the opponent.
Cheminsky has been perfect from the line, and the pressure on.
There's the man breaking long. Good catch by Roby.
Roby needed those long limbs to save that one. Duke trying to steal the ball.
They can go ahead and foul. I'm trying to make a big steal here.
Following tonight's game, stay tuned for your local news, followed by The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. Then tomorrow with Tom Snyder. Foul is on Spanarkel of Duke. And we want to thank, while we have a moment, Walter Byers, the executive director of the NCAA. Tom Jernstedt is assistant executive. David Kaywood, Director of Public Relations for the National Collegiate Athletic Association, and to our NBC crews around the country, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago. We pulled in all the forces, the Army here, to cover this one. 1.5 minutes left. 88-80 the score.
The next one will be 1-and-1 situation. They've got 6. I was surprised they didn't press man-to-man. That'll be 1-and-1. Claytor on the line.
Denard gets the foul. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. 1-and-1 for Kentucky. Denard has his 3rd foul. Bill Foster looking for some steals. He trails by 8. And in from the sidelines will come Jay Scheidler. No, he will replace Claytor, and Claytor at the line.
You know, Al, even though Claytor and Scheidler are not going to have big statistical games, in the beginning of the game, when Duke was in that zone, they hit some real key jumpers, and I think that really took away what Duke has been able to get by with in earlier games.
Well, Duke had a gamble either on the baseline or the outside. They gambled on the outside, but they're 2 excellent shooters. They'll come up with key baskets. They've been around a long time, even though they're both only juniors this year.
So Claytor misses the free throw, but in the scramble for the rebound, Cheminsky fouls. Denard goes, looks as if he is going out, stays in. To the sideline goes Claytor. Jay Scheidler has replaced him in the backcourt for Kentucky, and Roby visits the line.
Roby and Givens, the 2 fellas we featured at the top of the show, Dick. They sure are quality kids and great athletes, and they've, during their career at Kentucky, you'd have to say that's a memorable period of time, and now we've got to think a name for this Kentucky ball club. They always have a special name.
Time running out on Duke. They trail by 11 now. 3 free throws hit by the Wildcats. Inside, Denard to score easily. Kentucky's not going to foul. Quick timeout called by Spanarkel to stop the clock with 1 minute and 11 seconds left. There's an interesting story on Roby. He works at Claiborne Farms, and that is, of course, one of the many outstanding Thoroughbred Farms in Kentucky, and every day when he's working there, he feeds the big horse, Secretariat. And in many ways, this Kentucky team, and borrowing some of your phraseology, Al McGuire, if they win, they're the Secretariat of college basketball.
I would more to say that they're the Seattle Slew of basketball. He has a great game today. I think we'll see both Gibbons and Roby for the next 10 years in the Pro League.
A minute and 11 seconds left. 91-82.
Dick, you know, something that comes up every year in the NCAA championships is the fact they ought to do away with the consolation game because the kids don't care. But I think tonight we saw in that first game how much it means to players of championship caliber. I think our hat should be taken off to that Notre Dame club in Arkansas. They put on a super show in that first game.
Arkansas winning on a Brewer shot at the buzzer by 271-69. I agree, Billy.
That is not called a consolation game. That game is called for the third place in the national championship, and I don't agree that game should ever be stopped. Number 3 in the nation is a very important thing, and there's 4 teams that got here. They never have to drop their heads. Duke tonight can go out and have their ice cream sodas or their pizzas or whatever they wish to have, and they can be very proud of themselves.
Have to be.
And for those Kentucky kids, and Coach Shohall will have a curtain call. They'll take a bow again a week from next Sunday in Lexington as the USA All-Stars play the Soviet team. Time running out. We'll watch the clock for you. A near steal by the hustling Bender of Duke. Here's the official total on Jack Gibbons. 18 for 26 from the floor. 5 for 7 from the line. Number 21, Gibbons, with 41 points in the game. He still has a chance to break Bill Walton's NCAA record in the championship game.
That's a good pass. Let's see if he puts it up.
He doesn't hit that one, and the rebound by Denard. Denard goes. Jaminski. Nice pass to Denard.
Oh, yes. What a play.
Pretty play. 91-84. Duke refuses to wilt. And this team is going to be back next year. And it's hustle, and it's talent, and it's fine coaching. Al McGuire portends another great year.
I'm upset about that last shot. I don't care about records or no records. The idea is to win the game and go home. I don't think the fella took the shot for the record, but I guess that the way 47 seconds to me is, again, another lifetime. I'm repeating myself. There's only a 7-point spread. I just don't believe the game's over yet.
What you're saying is, forget the record, let's let the clock go by, win the game, go home, and we'll say I just missed the record by 3. Huh?
See, the only person that knows it is like the fellow that fights the bull, the coach. He's the only one. He's on the floor there. You know, he has soot on his face. He hears the bugles and smells the smoke of the war.
Now that I don't understand what he's talking about.
Well, he's a war horse. It's not over.
There's one of the young Kentucky Wildcat cheerleaders. I don't know whether that's emotion or whether she suffered a fall.
I think so, Dick. I think 2 Kentucky cheerleaders got hit in the head because they both are holding ice packs. They either fell at one of their routines, but they don't want to leave this arena.
This is the 40th NCAA championship. 30 years ago, the Fabulous Five, 1948, Kentucky's first championship. And the names then were Ralph Beard and Alex Gross and Cliff Barker, Ken Rollins and Wawa Jones. And I remember, that's about the first college team that I remember, Al. And Kentucky won it then. They won again in 49 the next year, 51 and 58. And you see the total standings. And the Wildcats are 47 seconds away from their 5th championship, and you know how important just one is.
Well, the last 2 times they got to the finals, they lost. They lost to UCLA and to Coach Wooden, who was a legend. And the other game they lost was to the University of Texas of El Paso, which was a great ball game. That was played in Maryland.
You know what's interesting about that final, too, is that Kentucky and Duke in the semifinal that year up at Maryland really blasted themselves to exhaustion. And of course, Texas El Paso had that great club, well-coached, great defensive club.
Gibbons misses the free throw. 2 Duke players were there. Jaminski and Denard. Spinarco making the blind pass. That could have cut the lead down to 5 points. Gibbons has had a field goal attempt and a 1-and-1, hasn't been able to make it. Denard needs a saddle for that one as he picks up the foul. 35 seconds left.
Watch Macy on the foul line now. He's an excellent foul shooter. You young people out there, the first thing to do is take a deep breath to relax himself. Then he'll dry his hands on his socks. First he'll dry the inside, which he's doing now. Now he'll go back down and then dry the outside of his hands in a moment. He goes through a set ritual every time before he shoots a foul shot.
I think he always takes just 3 dribbles, too, Al. Watch, he'll do that, and he'll take 3 bounces before he shoots. There goes Rick Roby. Roby has been replaced in a standing ovation from many of the fans here in St. Louis. He leaves with 20 points. Macy connects. 92-84.
You know who's the next man coming out? There was the little ritual you saw, and it really helps to be a great free throw shooter, too, regardless of the ritual, because he has a great follow-through technique.
Macy misses. Cheminsky rebounds. Bender ahead. Denard trying to get inside, and the foul is on Denard. No basket. Charging on Denard. And the basket is not allowed, and I believe that's his 5th foul of the game.
Now we're going to hear a real hand because I think it's time for Goose Givens to start coming out there. No, the next one's going to be Macy coming out. They'll bring the house down in the Goose, please.
Macy goes out. Denard, that was not his 5th foul. Macy, cool, only a sophomore. He was just the glue that Kentucky needed with those 4 brilliant seniors. And now I believe they're trying to get the attention of the officials that Denard has committed his 5th foul. Yes, he finally leaves, and a hand from the Duke crowd and the Kentucky crowd for Kenny Denard. And there goes Goose Givens. Givens leads with 41 points. The star. Time clicking away. Steal by Bender, and he was fouled.
That's the one thing you don't want to do in the ball game. Dwayne Casey fouling him. You want this clock to go and go and go.
Joe Hall said it's been tough. The only way we could have had a successful year is to win the NCAA. When we started practice, the small people close to our program began the year saying, we know you're going to win the NCAA, not we hope you'll win. It's a shame there isn't more of a feeling of accomplishment for what these young men have already done. And there's one of Bill Foster's 4 daughters. It's emotion-packed. The winners and the losers are both crying.
It's extremely difficult for families. I always felt for my family. I was on the court. It was easy for me, but difficult for them.
Bob Bender hits 2 free throws, and Kentucky's lead is 6.
Only 6 points.
And it's a near steal by Bender. Look at
Shots where the starters are more confident and they're older and more mature.
Jay Scheidler. He is fouled by Harrell. That stops the clock. Only a couple of seconds ticked away.
2 seconds.
Next year, we'll be at the Special Event Center of the University of Utah campus in Salt Lake City for the NCAA championships. Oh, it's a classic event. As Kurt Gowdy said at the start of this telecast, it may be the toughest ticket in all of sport. I haven't seen him smile yet. I hope, if Kentucky does win, that Joe Hall will show his ivories. I'd like to see him finally enjoy. It's been tough. He's taken a lot of criticism as a winning coach.
He's a great person. He's morally excellent, and he's a credit to basketball.
You know, and I think that movie made in the Florida State game has to go down as one of the all-time moves of guts by a coach.
They missed it.
Cheminsky gets the rebound. 18 seconds. Duke has to hurry. Cheminsky, tough shot. Oh! 92-88 timeout with...
Then he calls attention.
Good pass.
And
He
it's
needs
2
to use
on
the
1.
clock.
Oh, they didn't call it. James Lee, a power dunk. And that's going to be it. The University of Kentucky are the basketball champions of the National League.
You're really not running as well. They
Hit this, they'll go to the 1-3-1 zone.
Nice pass, and it's Givens over Cheminsky. Givens, great thing. Oh, a sophomore into Givens. There's a pick, and Givens tipped in by Wade, controls it, and it's Givens again. Get the attention, there's Givens, and that was, and there he is, the Goose. Seems tired. Givens has, there he is. James Lee to Givens, scoring out on Duke. Givens, but they haven't stopped this man. Goose Givens with 41 points, the star.
Good pass.
And
He
it's
needs
2
to use
on
the
1.
clock.
Oh, they didn't call it. James Lee, a power dunk, and that's going to be it. The University of Kentucky are the basketball champions.